You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John. It is January 20th, 2020, and we have just wrapped up Namm 2020. And by wrap it up, I mean I stayed home and John went.
I think we should do this episode like NPR.
How so?
Let's talk a little bit about Namm 2020. It was an exhilarating experience.
You had a good show.
Yeah, the show was good. I mean, I have every reason to feel like the show was good because I was surrounded by the coolest stuff like the whole time. But there were probably many other manufacturers of things like folding guitars and guitars with necks bolted onto the back side of their bodies so they can be wacky and unique who probably thought it was a terrible show because they confused a terrible crowd response with a terrible product.
And you were near the ice packs, the ice machine, all the cool products.
Exactly. I was in the freezer section. So here's what we need to do, DL.
Go ahead.
We just need to open up like pot snacks, like THC infused gummy bears and brownies and things like that. We just need to open a stand and sell that stuff at these trade shows.
I'm sure.
Dude.
Sure that would go over swimmingly.
We could just lie about it and say that it's CBD, you know?
Right.
But that's all you got to do. You'd make a killing. All these guys walking around. They want it to be a rock and roll experience, so you get them high.
Let me ask you this. Was there a shortage this year of feathered hair and mustaches, or were they in full regalia?
No, they were waving their freak flags. They were out. Yeah. The crowd here probably also knows I am a big fan of a 60-year-old man, which is some people in our audience for sure, that still dresses like he's at the 84 Bon Jovi concert.
Oh, that's your favorite.
I love it.
It really is your favorite.
If your muffin top is spilling over your leather pants, and so is your wife, and you've just dyed all your hair jet black for the show, you and I are on good terms.
Yes.
I love it. You know, the thing I noticed this year, and obviously because it's a new booth for me, how many people come and like plant themselves in front of an amplifier and practice in the middle of a Namm show.
It's Guitar Center, basically.
Oh,
the whole
really
place
is, yeah.
It's just Guitar Center multiplied. And it's so funny because you think to yourself, because when they do that, you watch them and you're like, is this guy expecting people to come up and compliment him like this? Or does he equate himself like Guthrie Govan does that? And he plays. I remember when Guthrie was playing for Cornford Amps years ago, and he was playing, and it was like sitting in front, just melting faces. And then there's some people that just go there, and do they feel like they're doing the same thing when you're looking at them, going, "Yeah, you want to take a break?"
I don't know. You know, I really, really don't know what the mentality is because I don't. It's not something that I do now. Maybe when I was like 20, I don't know, but. What I notice is the moment you hand somebody a guitar and plug them into like a Friedman amp, it's like their wrist just automatically goes. They can't just hit a chord. It's like they do that. It's like automatically. It's like they sit down like they've got Parkinson's and then it hits the strings and they start doing it.
Right.
And that's all it is. There's no lead into it at all. The difference is when you see somebody who's a pro, like what's his name? Brett Papa. Do you know that guy?
No.
Really good player. He did a Dirty Shirley video that was well before I bought my amp, was one of the videos where I was like, ooh. Anyway, he's a killer player. And he was in the booth testing out new gear. and so was Rabia from Andertons, and
Mm-hmm.
a handful of other people who you would recognize as like respectable guitar player, somebody that can really handle the instrument. And the difference I notice is they all start out by listening to the amp. They
Right.
start it by hitting an A chord and hearing how it feeds back or how it decays or whatever. And they screw around with dynamics a little bit before they start, maybe shredding a little bit. There's a lead-in period for the guys that are really exceptional, and the guys that just come to practice and they're just playing as fast as they can, looking around their shoulders. And it's just like, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a trade show for dealers. This is where guys pick their inventory, and
Right.
you've got Mike Smith from Hand Over Mass or whatever coming in and just saying like, "Oh, I can't believe
hand over fist maths."
Right, exactly. Did I say hand over? I meant hand over.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the guy like, "Oh, I got it. I'm here with my buddy from, whatever music store," and that guy's working.
Right.
But, the buddy came along for the trip and he's just having fun, and it's cool. I get it. You want to see the stuff, but like, don't sit down on a couch or on a chair or whatever and occupy an amp for 45 minutes just noodling away. Like, there's people that actually need to be there.
Yeah.
So
That's funny. Totally. Anyway.
Yeah, the show was really good.
Did you get a chance to walk around at all?
Yeah, I did. I will admit beforehand, not to raise your expectations, I did not go upstairs to the level where Gibson and Fender,
sure,
and PRS and Taylor were.
Right.
I was kind of more looking for unique and cool, smaller up and coming companies. So I wasn't in the basement. I was on the main level where all the amps and electronics and everything are. But I was kind of just looking to see like if there were any like boutique amp or pedal companies that were really cool.
And what did you find that was your
The one I thought was coolest was a company called Beatronics. Have you seen these yet?
I have not.
So it's Beetronics.
Wow, okay.
And all of their stuff was like insanely cool to look at. Just like super unique designs, a little bit of relicking on some of them, on others there was none. But the thing that was craziest about it is not only were the enclosures decorated like with like really cool embellishments and all these contrasting colors and things that made it really cool, but then you look inside and all of the boards had unique designs as well. So like they would like make the board like painted like honeycombs and different goofy things, and that's how they did that. One of them looked like a hornet. It's just
right.
It's like shaped like that. The board itself, it's like really cool, and they make all of this stuff in Sherman Oaks, California.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's local here, and I had no idea, but I was there enjoying that. That was cool. That was really cool. So I'd recommend people check that out. There's a company called Omega Amp Works.
I saw that post. You posted that on Instagram.
Yeah, I kind of like their style. They're doing a little bit of a high watt thing on their control plates. So like where the volumes and tones and everything are on the amplifier, not only is it like silk screened, but it's etched. So it looks
nice.
it looks like old military style,
right,
sort of thing. And I find that to be pretty cool. So yeah, man, those were the two like up and coming little companies I thought were pretty cool. Just neat to look at.
Yeah.
Then there's a really small company called Friedman Amplification. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Tell us about them. You don't know, they might have been behind where you were standing.
Yeah, I kept tripping over them. Dude, it was crazy how busy that booth was.
Really?
At points during the show. So in the Amp Town area, as we call it, it's like, Morgan and Soldano and everything. And there's little rooms. And the Friedman room's the biggest one. And as you open the door, there's couches lining a wall. And there was not one point during the show where the couches weren't lined with guitar players just sitting and waiting for their turn to plug into the big rig and check out all the amps.
Right.
It was just constant, steady stream of people wanting to try it and
Very nice.
play as fast as they can with reckless abandon.
Very nice. Now, did Morgan come out with the SWDL? Is that this year or is that next? I can't remember. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's hilarious. The SWDL. It was a co-opted project between Steve Wariner and Dave Levine.
Exactly. So did Joe go to the show? Was he there?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, he was there with a MVP 66, which is like a JTM 45 style amp. It's a
Right.
50 watt KT 66 driven, tube rectified. Really cool sounding amplifier.
So I had a couple of questions for you. One is, when Steve Vai went to you guys, and I'm just kidding.
I'm so curious if you had a real question, what it would be.
No, it was just like, did he tell you how he wanted it voiced? Remember that guy's asking? It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how.
So
Yeah,
make
that's how that goes.
Make it sound like shit. I'll play it just fine.
It's so hard. Like, I'm sitting there talking to one of my dealers, just wrapping up a conversation about what's gonna, what the year's gonna look like, and then I get a marketing guy from our, team that comes up and goes, "Hey, you have to do a Premier Guitar video right now," and it was supposed to be about Tone King. So I was ready to do a Premier Guitar video about the Tone King Imperial.
Right.
I had actually looked into, played the amp a little bit, found a couple of settings I liked, and then they go, "Yeah, you're gonna do that." And then the Premier Guitar guys were like, "Yeah, we wanna ask you about the Steve Vai Synergy module." So I'm like, "Shit." I hadn't had a chance to play it yet. I had no idea. I mean, I know about it, but like, it's like when I'm sitting here like dialing in tones, it's like, boy, I hope I can flub my way through that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it came out fine, but I just like those questions about, like, did you ever see the SNL bit where they go rent an apartment and it's Zach Galifianakis and in the bathroom's a bidet, and then from that point on the questions are only about the bidet, and she's like, "Let me show you over here in the sink," and he's like, "Well, excuse me, one more second, about the bidet." Right. And he's like, it's just every question. That's what I felt like I was watching, because the guy's talking and he's like, back to Steve Vai. When he showers, is he using Irish Spring or is he using a body wash from Old Spice?
That's really funny. So,
you're like, back to the end.
No, I when I was open mouth kissing him, I kind of realized,
right,
get his whole scent. It was definitely more of an Irish Spring thing.
Let me tell you, so I can't blame the Japanese because they have their own culture. They're not in America. But Steve Vai is so out of touch when he names his new guitar the PIA.
That's his wife's name.
Yeah, it's also the acronym for pain in the ass. POA is my favorite.
Right. That's what he should have named it.
That's exactly right.
Doesn't he call that claw thing in the back of the tremolo bridge like the tiger claw or something silly like that?
Oh, you mean behind
there?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if he calls it that, so the joke doesn't work.
Right.
Because the joke is, of course, if he does indeed call it that, he also has the monkey grip. I think he needs another mammalian feature on that guitar, right? But I don't know if he actually does that, so the joke just, until somebody can confirm it, it's nothing.
He took away the monkey grip, and he put that stupid-looking yin-yang thing. I was like looking at the monkey grip again, going, geez, I wonder if I could put that in a Strat. It would look cool with a Strat with a monkey grip.
I don't know. I think he calls it like the new monkey grip. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing that was funny about seeing Vi there, is his son was with him, and his son now is older. He's in his 20s. They look identical.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's really funny. Yeah, the guy, like, you see this guy walking in, that looks like a 25-year-old Vi. Like you're like, what? And then there's an older guy that looks like Vi.
That's so
You're like,
funny.
oh wow, that's really wild. You look at the name tag, and his kid's name's Fire. It's a interesting name, but he's a hippie, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really funny. The kid looked just like, same hair, same glasses, same face, same build.
Right.
And they're both tall as hell too. Like, I never knew that, but like, you stand up next to Vi, he's taller than I am. I'm about 6'2".
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Vi's taller than me. There's a bunch of these guys you never know are enormous. And you meet them and you're just like, what? Like Tom Cruise. Everybody says he's tiny. He's like 7'4". No. No, but some of these guys, like I met that Ola England guy one year at Namm, and I'm just like, what? What are you doing up there?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it works both ways. There's also some guys where you're like, what are you doing down there? You know what I mean? There's a lot of short guys.
Oh, this is true. There's also some guys that are at your own eyesight. You'd say,
yes,
hey,
there's all kinds.
And you'd say, what are you doing over there?
Yes, Tommy, anything you want to keep cool.
Right.
Have you seen David Lee Roth live? Did we talk about the David Lee Roth live yet?
I saw David Lee Roth live in like 1997 or 8.
I saw him live in like 91, but he was live on YouTube. Oh no, I sent you that guy. Didn't I send you the guy who the vocal coach who watches him live, and the whole time he's like, this sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's the worst.
No, it wasn't her. It was a guy.
Yeah.
It was a guy who actually was not impressed.
Right. When somebody's being critical and honest, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
But he's probably not going to have a big channel because he's being critical and honest.
Well, and then there's some videos of him singing. There's some videos of him singing. No.
Oh, so
he
the
was singing
isn't a good singer either.
No, he was like singing some Dawkins stuff, and I'm like, this is not what you want to be posting.
Yeah, that's bad.
Other than Friedman guitars, because you brought a Friedman on the last podcast, and I know you enjoy them. Did you see any guitars that you thought was interesting or?
I mean, not really, not interesting. I played a Heritage that had a really great relic job on it. It was like a 175, and like the cracking of the lacquer was just executed so perfectly. That was really nice because it had like this back of headstock, like ebony laminate.
Yeah.
When you looked at the cracking over it, it was just striking. But other than that, it's just.
What were they asking for it? I'm curious what they. No, you didn't know.
I didn't look. I didn't ask. Nobody was in the booth at that point in time. It was early in the morning when I was doing my walk around to avoid having conversations with people.
Did you find yourself walking around thinking very little interested you except for the stuff that was at your booth?
No. I mean,
did you go see Ryan Wampler at all?
He's in our booth.
Oh, so I guess you did see him.
Yeah. We did that whole thing. Anyway, no, not really. It wasn't like that, but I'm really not gassing for amps right now. Like with the Shirley, I don't think about it at all. The only amp
did you go by Mesa?
I would honestly like to get a Tone King Imperial, but I'll probably use it like as like a sample more than I would use it for any of my band purposes. I can't fathom what I would be able to do with an Imperial in a band because the stuff we play is just too hard rock. But they do sound good. Like it's like what a perfect example of an amp that's like clean that you can put to that edge of breakup. It's just amazing, but yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not really gassing for amps. Like I said, that pedal company was really cool, and then we were hunting around for different hardware for like, just cool hardware ideas that the Friedman guitars could take on.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that would be, possibly cool. But yeah, no, I didn't see.
Did you find any cool hardware companies? I mean, Godo has a pretty good booth usually at NAMM.
They're always great. Yeah.
Yeah, they always have a good booth. And Schaller, I mean,
I didn't see Schaller this year.
yeah, they're always by the drum booths.
Yeah. Wilkinson has a new 510 type bridge.
Oh, okay.
2-point with that tension collar on it where you can, use the tensioner screw to make sure that your arm is smooth. They had that with like some new saddles and some whatever.
Was G&L at the show?
Right. I did see Ron Moreno.
Oh.
But I did not see his booth.
But did they have a booth, or was he just there walking around?
I think they were there.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. My extent with Ron this time was, "Hey Ron, what's up, man? Oh, doing good." Walking past each other. That was it.
Sure.
Yeah, so I didn't get a lot of time. I saw Sasha for a minute.
You heard it here first, folks. The podcast destroys relationships. No,
yeah, exactly. No, it was just we were both with people at that point.
No, I understand.
And
you saw Sasha. His booth looked pretty nice.
Yeah, he's always got great stuff.
Yeah,
always got great stuff. Saw that. Yeah. I mean, you see all the companies. Some of the companies you think are going to show big, end up showing really funny. Oh, you know who's enormous? And I can also put something to bed.
Go ahead.
I got to tell you, Josh Smith from JHS.
Yes.
Is enormous.
What do you mean he's enormous?
He's got to be reaching 7 feet.
No way. He's tall?
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, he's huge. Josh is an entire head bigger than me for sure.
Wow.
And that hairline's real.
How do you know?
Because I was right under like where it was coming down. I was able to see right up under there.
No. Unless I'm getting Dr. Barden in there doing an autopsy on that skull, you're not going to convince me that's his hair.
I'm telling you, I was right next to the guy. I
want him laying on a slab. I want that head examined. That is not his hair.
I was pulling at it and looking.
Yeah, he's 7 feet. You got an undercarriage view, which is the view he wants. Now I'm questioning if he's really that tall, if he's walking on stilts to avoid people examining his hair at a close range.
I'm telling you, kid. I saw it growing right out of the scalp myself.
There's no way.
Oh, it's hilarious. But his booth was hilarious.
Why?
Because it was empty.
Really?
What he did was kind of cool. It was a little unique. It was like a black and white poster thing that just said JHS pedals. And there was a white floor. So the whole thing was just like a white thing. And I think he was just taking orders. He was just there. Didn't bother showing anything as far as I could tell. Unless he had all the stuff put away every single night, which wouldn't make any sense because there's security like crazy there. But no, there was no pedals anywhere there.
Wow, that's interesting. He has a good, he makes some good quality videos.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I love them, but I like some of them. Now I'm wondering who I can have him go against in a one-on-one basketball game where I can have somebody accidentally pull his hair off.
I'm telling you.
We're not buying it.
That's all right. It's all right. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Met a whole bunch of these YouTuber guys.
Oh, yeah. Who did you meet that's on YouTube?
That Colin guy, the Scottish guy. I
don't know.
He's got long hair. His name's Colin Scott.
Don't know him.
He's very. The funny thing about all these guys is a lot of them are, almost like pseudo celebrity because of the guitar community not being huge. The guitar community, relative to anything else in public life, is pretty small.
Sure.
But all of these guys, if you're a guitar player, you happen to know a lot of these guys because the videos and what YouTube is enabled. So a lot of them, even though they seem a little bit celebrity, are like very like shy, down to earth, like cool guys. And you talk to
Right.
them a little bit, and they're very, very like you and I, very normal guys. But
When
yeah,
you say like you and I mean, the last name you and I, we walked around in fur coats, big sunglasses. We had our posse. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
Oh,
Gonna
that
say
wasn't us. That was Lenny Kravitz.
Let's see. Who else did we meet? Phil McKnight. Not only did I meet Phil McKnight, but I ended up having dinner with Phil McKnight.
What?
Yeah. We did this thing right before Namm. Ended up spending a bunch of time with him. And he was a very nice guy.
Really?
Super nice guy.
Did you talk to him like your past with him or?
Yeah, a little bit. All
right.
Yeah, but he was like incredibly friendly and just like, yeah, it makes me feel a little bad. He was very nice.
All right.
That Glenn Fricker dude.
That's the long-haired recording studio guy.
Guy that always got yeah. That
Oh
guy.
yeah, he's enjoyable.
And the other thing that's funny about him is he goes, I'm not an asshole like I am on TV. And then the rest of the time that we were together, it's like you could tell that he wasn't really, but he was that close to being one.
Right.
You can just tell he's got a short fuse. It was very funny. This is going to sound really funny. Reminded me of my mom's temper a little bit. Because that's how my mom was. She just always looks irritated.
Well, that's your next video. Glenn Frick is my mom.
Yeah, my mom would she was never mean, but she always looked irritated. And I'll tell you, Glenn always looked irritated.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Now I got to tell you, I met one of my gear crushes, Sean Tubbs. Dude,
I don't know who Sean Tubbs is.
Seriously? Sean Tubbs.
Is he,
His gear reviews are the greatest.
who the hell is he? I got to be honest. I don't watch it. I guess I'm not watching as many YouTube things as I think I am. Who the hell is Sean Tubbs? What is he? What name does he go by?
Sean Tubbs.
Sean Puffy Tubbs? I don't know who he is. And why do you have a crush on Sean Tubbs?
I have a crush on his ability to play guitar.
Oh, he's good.
Oh, he's phenomenal. And not only is he phenomenal, but like he's not playing like super high gain shred. He's just like one of those guys that when you hear him play, you're like, oh yeah, there's something different at work here. This guy's nuts. Yeah, watch his BE 100 Deluxe video when you get a chance.
All right.
It's just the guy's a different sort of player. He's the only guy that's playing a BE 100 Deluxe and not making it sound like it's a flamethrower. He's making it pretty tasteful.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, I met Sean Tubbs. That was cool. Michael Nielsen, who I already knew, but Michael Nielsen's great. Big hairy guitarist.
Oh, right. Again, I only know him because I've only seen that once when you send it to me. Yeah. What about any of the guys who have subs? Thank you.
Right. Like Fluff.
Like
Kid, you don't even watch YouTube. You watch YouPorn.
That's what it is. I'm on YouPorn. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I was gonna say Fluff is he's got like 600,000 subs.
There's a guy named Fluff.
Yeah, Riffs, Beards, and Gear.
Oh, I know that guy. What's his real name?
Ryan Bruce.
Yeah. I know him by that name. Okay. He reminds me of you because he loves the gear you would love, like the metal gear.
Right.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Totally seems like it.
Yeah. Anyway, you know who else was enormous? Rabia from Anderson TV. Taller than me. Just like, what?
Well, then how tall is Rob Chapman? Because he seems like him and Chapman seem like the same height.
I've never met Rob Chapman before.
And the other guy, Pete.
Danish Pete.
Yeah, he looks
Oh,
short.
I love Danish
compared to
Pete.
Rabea.
Danish Pete, it's great. Yeah, it was. Did you see that video that I got stuck doing?
No, I didn't
The
see it yet.
Soldano and Morgan video.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah. It's Danish Pete and Rabea.
Well, how tall
And,
was Danish Pete?
He was, I don't know, 5'10", 5'11".
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks like he's like 5'4" on that show because next to Rabea, he always looks small.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rabeer's like probably like 6'4" or something, and then his afro starts.
Right.
And you're just like, good God, dude. Yeah, he's a Viking.
Right.
Enormous.
And where was Krusty?
Who's Krusty?
He looks like Sideshow Mel.
Oh, Krusty the Clown. Got it. That's funny. Oh, I guess Rob Chapman would be Krusty, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I met, Bert and Lonnie.
Did you see? Oh, you didn't even go see Mark Agnesi.
Woody and Mia. Nah. No, man, I didn't have time. I was top to bottom Thursday, Friday, Saturday with appointments, and then.
Did you go see any bands?
Who?
Any bands play at night?
No.
Oh, wait, so were you there or were you driving back?
No, I was there.
You stayed there the whole weekend?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I had to. No, the evening time.
You see Howie at all?
Yeah, a few times.
Nice.
Yeah, he came through. We had a bar in the Friedman booth, so
Howie
came
was there.
through. Oh yeah, no, just kidding. We had one or two every day.
Nice.
No, it was cool. Yeah, Howie was there. Like I said, Bert and Lonnie, Woody and Mia.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're gonna make it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there were any like guitar players where you'd go, whoa, what was he doing there? JJ French.
Yeah, what was he doing there?
Oh, your boy JJ French.
JJ French. The question I have is, who is worse, JJ French or Eddie Ojeda?
Ooh. I don't know.
Am I pronouncing that guy's name right?
Probably.
God.
Ojeda, it sounds like a salsa brand, kind of.
Yeah.
Not like a real one, but one that's like put on by one of these big corporations.
Oh, I'll have the Ojeda, but extra spicy. There you
go. Here's another thing that happens at Namm all the time, and I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Parading kids around. Oh, isn't he the best? You got to meet my son.
Oh my God.
Out of the dads that do this game, and you know how this works, it's like the kid plays guitar, he can play some blues licks. It's nothing special.
Right.
How many of them are actually good? It's rare, right? Like Anton was
a freak.
Phenomenal. Anton Oparin was insanely good.
Yeah.
There's this kid that that Dave is working with right now. Dave Friedman's working with. Taj something. He's an Australian kid. He can really play. He's pretty good. Not like Anton. That was alien.
Right.
But this kid's pretty good too. But how many of these guys come through and they're like, you gotta hear my kid, and then the kid's like just brutal.
Do you remember?
Look, man,
maybe you
give it one more year and then bring them back to Namm.
You may not have been there. It was one of the first taxi shows I worked with Bernie at the Renaissance Hotel. And Melanie, it might have been it was Taxi. You know who Melanie is? I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. Not your mother, Melanie Bingham, because that's Glenn. What's his last name?
Fricker or Frick.
That's Glenn Fricker. That's your mom, Melanie. Yeah. So this woman, Melanie's husband and kid, and he was coming up saying, my son's going to be the greatest guitar player. You have to hear this kid play. You won't be able to believe it. And the kid wasn't young. Oh, yeah, he wasn't terribly young. He was probably like 23, 24. But he kept saying to Bernie, Taylor really should do something with him. He's like one of the best nylon string players you're ever going to see in your life. And I look at Bernie and I'm like, get this kid a guitar, would you please? Get him. Let's get a guitar. So Bernie goes and pulls out the guitar that has nylon string. It was like a nylon. I think it was like the NT. What is it? The NS? No, the NS.
Yeah, I guess.
It was the NS, and he brings out a nylon string Taylor, and this kid starts to play it, and Bernie's just looking at me like, this is what we expected. Kid was terrible. He was awful.
This is what we expected. Yeah.
And the father was like, wait till you hear my daughter sing. We were like, oh, yeah, we can't wait. And Bernie was just like, yeah, here's what I need you to do. You're going to have to submit this to artist relations. That's not what I do. And Bernie was just like, he was very, he's very even-tempered. I'm having a ball because the guy's horrible. The father won't stop saying how great he is. He's like, this is the best. I'm like, this is the best? This is the best. This is great.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what's the best? The Friedman Dirty Shirley.
Ugh.
Okay, so at the show, we had 3 refrigerator racks filled with just head, all the way down. Like 4 in each rack, all the way down to the floor, basically. And everything was routed through a Roland SDE 3000. So Dave likes that delay. And we've got everything on a MIDI switcher so that you can, hear all the amps, A, B, C, D, E, whatever, side by side. We had this guy that I'm friendly with. His name is Abel Hernandez, and he runs a really cool guitar channel that he's trying to bring up. It's got like great video production, but low subscribers right now. So look this guy up, Abel Hernandez. Very cool guy, doing like straight up metal stuff, and he's going through all the different amps, with the foot switcher thing, and playing like all this crazy like new sort of like gent metal, all the stuff that they do.
Sure.
And he lands on like the BE 100 Deluxe because it's the thing that you're supposed to do, right? That's the fire breather. And he's playing it for a little while, and then I switch a couple of things on him, and I end up landing him on the Dirty Shirley Twin Sister, which is the new 2-channel version of it. Right. It's voiced exactly the same. There's nothing different about it at all. Except, now it has 2 channels, and it has, the previous one was single. Anyways, so he's on that amp, and he's playing that amp, playing all this metal stuff. And he points at the BE 100 Deluxe, and he's like, after about 5 minutes of playing, not even knowing that he's playing on the Shirley, and he goes, that's it. That's the greatest. And I said, that's not what you're playing right now. You're playing that one right there. And he was like, oh my God, are you serious? I was like, yeah, you're playing that. He was like, yeah, I got to get one of these. This is the best sounding amp I've ever played, which is really funny because he specifically only played it for about 20 seconds at the beginning because it was lower gain.
Right.
And, these guys, like, it's not about having more gain.
Right.
Something it's for fatness and clarity.
We've talked about this over and over again. You listen to the Marshall sound on British Steel, and then listen to some of the late 80s Marshall sounds where there's just gain on top of gain, and it sucks.
Yeah. That
British Steel sound is the sound.
Right. Yeah, right there. But it was uniquely gratifying. I liked that moment. I felt like for a minute there, I was like, yeah, all right, maybe I'm not too far off. But yeah, so that was kind of my Namm experience. I did no fun stuff at night because I'm old and I don't give a shit.
Right.
I literally ate Thai food 3 of the 4 nights.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Would not have been a choice of mine. Where did you go for Thai?
You're not a Thai fan at all?
I'm allergic to nuts. A lot of it's peanut stuff. And
yeah, that's okay. All right, yeah. There's a place in Garden Grove called Lanta Thai. It's about 3 miles outside of that whole centralized area, and it's so good.
Yeah,
if you like nuts,
Yeah, now that I think about it, G&L really doesn't have shit for a drive to there, do they? I mean, they're right there.
No, probably not at all. Yeah,
Right? You just go up to State College Boulevard, cut down, and it's right on Fender Ave.
that's it. Yeah, I wish I would
Just
have
thought
seen their
about it.
booth. I heard a lot of positive things about the Fender booth, which I expect. I always hear that, that sort of thing. Everybody was talking about the Wednesday night like private dealer event where they go into the booth and it's nothing but custom shop.
Right.
And basically what they do is all of the dealers go in with some sort of card that Fender provides them with that has their name on it. And they just go up to the guitars and they put their name in the strings, and Fender sells $1 million worth of custom shop like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant marketing.
Yeah, Fender basically has a lot of the old fuddy-duddies fooled. They've got they've got their magic on the crowd, and so does Gibson to their fans. I was thinking about this the other day. Well, here's what I can't understand. I think Gibson, after all the horseshit they went through, I think they should make Epiphone like the main Epiphone stuff they used to make, the Texan, the Casino. They should make
Yeah.
all those USA again.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be awesome if they did that.
And then come up with a new brand for the overseas shit. Because what happens is if you have a company like Epiphone, Gibson can never sell that company. If they decided they wanted to make this and expand that line, they couldn't sell it because they're making Les Pauls, they're using the name Les Paul under that brand. It's just silly. They should completely stop that. Go back to making the classic stuff they make and then come out with some type of Gibson overseas branding name.
Mm.
That's what I was thinking about this weekend when I was just flicking around. I was like, that's the idea that hit me. I was like, if you could have like a USA Casino and all the Epiphone stuff, they go back to the classic 50s and 40s, whatever they fucking made, and make it again USA. And get off of the cheap shit. I think, I have a problem with Dr. Epiphone. I saw he was in a video. I had to turn it off immediately.
Oh, they're still rolling that out?
They still use this guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Professor Epiphone, Dr. Epiphone, whatever it is. I forget what his degree is in Epiphone.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't know they were still rolling out the Dr. Epiphone thing.
Oh.
I haven't that's a brand that's largely missed me my entire life, even when I was a teenager and I didn't have any money at all, and I would look at buying inexpensive guitars or whatever. That's a brand that's entirely missed me.
Epiphone. Well, I think because it's a knockoff brand, except if you bought a Casino. If you have a regular Epiphone Casino, I'm always like, that's a cool guitar. That was a Beatles guitar. It was a USA made. Sure, it's made overseas now, but it looks the same. It's an original guitar. When you see an Epiphone Les Paul, it's like there's a Les Paul with an Epiphone headstock made overseas. In other words, why not? Like, the marketing is already done, John. All you got to do is change the Gibson name on the headstock to Chibson, and you have your overseas Gibsons.
That's funny.
Why not call it Chibson? I'd be trademarking it and doing.
In fact, all the guitars are already built.
Right? Seriously, I would just call it Chibson. I'd be like, it's a Chibson Les Paul. And what are people going to sit there and be like? Then people don't care. It's like, oh, well, it looks like it says Gibson. It's Chibson.
That's funny.
But you're buying a cheap Chibson guitar, and why not?
Or
The name's already out there.
Or they come out with it and call it Orville or something.
Well, Orville was already, I think it was a company out of Japan that was making knockoff Gibsons called Orville. But I thought Gibson, because then you can keep it to a Gibson. But I'm just saying the whole thing is like, get off the Epiphone, separate the company, and you could actually expand it and make it a cool company.
Yeah, I think I think some of the designs they do are cool enough. Like the Sheraton is fine, but yeah, the casino's cool. They had that Wildcat for a minute that was like a rockabilly sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, Wildcat.
It seems like they could do some American stuff and provide a different vibe that
The
gives
Wilshire.
covering.
The Wilshire could be a USA made guitar again.
Right. It would do that. It would cover some bases Gibson isn't. I heard the rollout of the new Kramer
Oh my God.
was not great.
I saw the video and I was like, this is like a company that I used to play, and there is nothing remotely cool about the new ones.
Well, from all accounts, I heard that anybody in the age group that cares about the Van Halen thing, all of those players are coming by the Friedman booth, as you can imagine.
Sure.
And I didn't hear any good stuff about the Kramers. Everybody basically said like, yeah, it didn't feel like special. And they were people commenting that the weight wasn't good. It was like things are a little bit too heavy.
When ESP
sounds to me like they made some guitars, and that was it. They just made the guitars, and they said they're 6 strings parts. They're good enough.
Well,
but they didn't care enough to bring out like exceptional examples, which you really need to do.
It's fucking Namm. That's the one time you make a perfect instrument. If you're ever going to make one, if you don't care, you don't care. But when ESP was making the Berettas in the mid '80s, and then the Kamikaze came out, the Kamikaze, the yellow, red, and black, whatever, the main one is a Kramer. You play it, it feels like an old Kramer. It feels great, even a brand new one. And then you have companies like Charvel out there making guitars, and you have Eddie Van Halen. And this year they're reintroducing the heavy metal Strat, the HM Strat, back to Fender. Yeah. All these companies are stepping up, and this is who you're going to be competing with. And so when Kramer comes on and tries to roll out a thing, either you better be fucking something special. They don't want to just see the guitar that they had in 1986. They want to see what you could improve to it. And they didn't improve anything. They didn't even address anything. And the headstocks look stupid. They just fucked it up. And I'm not shocked.
So you watched a video and you saw more detail.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of it. I only have hearsay. But the hearsay, like I said, was uninspiring. And
yes.
That's really too bad. Because didn't you say Gary Kramer was maybe going to be there?
Yeah, he told me he was going to be there. I don't know. He could have been there.
Yeah, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I wish I would have went to the Gibson booth to say hey to him. But at that point in time, with the whirlwind of going on, I'd forgotten that he was going to be there. So
yeah, I think Leo was going to be there too.
I did see Leo.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't know what they're doing. That you have to really now. If you looked at Leo Scala's guitars that he was making for Gary. Back when they were making the real USA Crusaders and that Marine guitar, those would smoke the HM Strats, the Charvels. But I don't think Gibson is willing to let those guys just go in and be like, make it the way you want to make it. They're basically what I think is using them for their brand affiliation and not really for what they could be being used for, which is Gibson needs a kick in the balls how to make a Strat. A super Strat, that is.
Yeah, it seems like there's enough guys out there that, like I said before, care enough about that era of guitar to where, there could be excellent builders making your Namm examples.
Yeah.
I mean, like all day long, guys would line up to make that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know who managed it, and I don't know. Gibson is so under the microscope because they continue to have these little faux pas here and there.
Yeah, and it's a whole new guy running the show. And like I said, I didn't see, and supposedly this was their biggest showing. And it's like, what are you going to do? Come up with 4 million new Les Pauls? It's like, I always think these companies need to trim down the line. Like if you're doing the custom shop 58, 59, 60, enough with the Les Pauls already. Come up with a 54, which is nice, the Oxblood I like. Come up with a couple of colors and let's move on. Here's a 50s traditional. Here's a 60s traditional. Oh, Christ. Would you please go away? Here's 900 models of it, Les Paul. This one.
Yeah, we've beaten this horse to death. Over and over and over. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
But everybody wants something that they feel is personal to them. And that's like, one hair different from the previous thing. And it's just
right.
It's part of the whole thing. The reality is most people just need to practice.
Oh yeah. A buddy of mine messaged me on Facebook today. He's like, what amp do you think is better? This one with a 110 or a 112? And I was just like, practice the fucking guitar. Doesn't matter. How many expensive balls do I need to hit to drive a golf ball further if I don't even golf or farther? Is it drive a golf ball farther or further? I think it's farther, right? Because it's distance.
Yeah.
Right? Because, and I don't even golf. And I can't golf. And it's like the dumbest question because it's like, just get out there and hit any ball. Practice hitting a ball.
Right.
I'm like, just practice playing the guitar. Stop worrying about a speaker. Guy can barely play.
Yeah. You'd love this. I pulled a Naked Gun joke on the guys in my car on like Friday night or something like that, going to dinner.
Yeah.
I said, hey guys, I actually got some exciting news. I wanted to let you guys know. I said, my wife's pregnant. And they were like, whoa, congratulations. And I was like, and if I find the son of a bitch who did it.
Awful.
They were all like, ah. Straight out of George Kennedy's mouth to mine.
Oh, God. Horrendous. You know what I watched this weekend was The Dead Zone.
Okay.
I'm watching The Dead Zone. First of all, I didn't realize Herbert Lom played the Doctor, who I love, is a comedic actor as Dreyfus on the Pink Panther movies. But Anthony Zerbe plays the real rich guy.
Right.
Anthony Zerbe's been on like Columbo, Cannon, for all of you who listen to the show and know I'm a huge Cannon fan. He's also the evil mad scientist in the Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park movie. Anthony Zerbe. Horrendous. But when Christopher Walken breaks the vase with his cane and he's like, the ice is going to break. It's the price of the ticket, folks, right there. That's the price of the ticket.
That's nuts. Oh, no, this one I was just eating. It's nuts.
Oh, yeah, those are nuts.
If anybody's watching these YouTube Namm reviews and things and you've got some gear that you think is compelling, leave it in the comments because I want to see what everybody's into.
Yes, please.
All right, folks, if you lasted this long and you can comment, great.
All right, very good, everybody.
See you next week.
You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.